intro up?
3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and
I thought we were still clapping. All right.
you know, I might leave that in. Who knows?
Do
Just
it.
leave it in, bro. Just
Yeah.
leave it in.
All right. Three. Hey, hello, everybody, and welcome back. And fuck, you know, what? I'm gonna cut this out. Fuck that.
Why? Nah, why?
Okay,
The-
fine.
You can add it in Patreon. There you go.
Yeah, you know what? All right. All right.
I wanted mine to be the imperfect, perfect interview.
All right. Fine. I'll leave it in. All of this is gonna be in.
Okay.
Alright, cool.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the It's Pizza Time podcast. I am your host, iNDiGO, and today I'm joined by my co-host, Victor,
It's good, guys.
and our special guest, Bailo.
Can I help you?
Hey, I'm the special guest. I'm Bailo. I
Yeah.
make trap music.
Yeah, you make some sick bangers.
Thanks.
All right. So I'm going to start this off with the precursor question that I ask pretty much everybody on this show is, what's your
Cool.
favorite kind of pizza, man?
Probably Napolitan margarita style.
Ooh.
That's a pretty good choice. Like,
That's first because I'm from Naples, so like that's my pizza. And second would be New York style, just because that's where I'm from. So yeah, and then Chicago would be third. And yeah,
you
that's my
don't
top
really,
three right there.
Yeah, so you don't really discriminate between like deep dish and like thin crust?
No, I don't put them. I don't compare them. They're two totally different things. So
Right.
it's hard to say one is better than the other one. They're both totally different.
Yeah. All right. I mean,
Yeah.
like, so far we've actually had like that exact, someone made that comparison too, like that they're completely different foods at that point.
Yeah,
like-
no, they really are, because like what you could say is deep dish really pizza, but then it's that's really the only argument I think that I could ever come about, is because is it really pizza, being
Yeah.
that it's just it's more like a pie.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I enjoy it, so therefore I don't ever try to compare it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty fair like statement to make.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta
Alright.
understand, my world revolves around pizza. So like I have to be aware. Like, don't get me wrong, I've even tried Hawaiian pizza for the first time. And
Yeah, what were
I
your,
will only
what were your
have it
thoughts?
I would only have it on like Little Caesars or like a Pizza Hut. But
Yeah, yeah.
I'll never put pineapple on like any regular style pizza like that. But like any fast food style one, I'll do Hawaiian for sure.
Like
That's an
Domino's
interesting
and stuff like
take.
that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do Domino's do they make good Hawaiian pizzas like compared to other places?
I don't
or-
know. I mean, I rated Little Caesars pineapple, like Hawaiian, better than Pizza Hut's, and I love Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
So I highly doubt Domino's is touching that surface.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
Like, there aren't many. I think like Domino's is basically like the really basic like fast food pizza taste.
Yeah, I mean, I guess where I come from, like the pizza that I had would allow me to avoid places like Domino's and Papa John's. Like at the time when I was living in New York, because I had like the best shops to get pizza from.
Yeah.
Around like in the state. So, I would avoid eating those fast food joints because I had better pizza options to get. But you'll get that craving where you'll want that kind of pizza. It's weird. It's like it's shitty, but like you're still gonna want it because it's cheaper and it's affordable for sure. And honestly, like when it comes to that department, I definitely will go with Pizza Hut first, like as far as in general, and then Little Caesars, and then Domino's, and then Papa John's. Papa John's is the shittiest fucking fast food pizza on the planet. Love you, Shaq, but that is not it for me.
We're getting some real hot takes out here from
Mhm.
Bailo on this pizza stance.
Yeah. Pizza's a big deal in my life, man.
Yeah.
Do you watch those Barstool pizza reviews?
No, actually. Like,
Wow.
Yeah, surprisingly,
You say it's pizza time, and you haven't even watched a Barstool Pizza
okay,
review?
you know what? I can't keep track of everything that's pizza related, my dude. It's like there's so much out there, man.
Now, I have a question for you in this interview because I need to know this.
All right.
How do you manage to put it's pizza time on every person's post every day?
Like
Like, how is it done?
how do I do it?
Yeah,
Oh
like,
yeah,
do you physically like go to every profile and write it on every post you see?
Yep.
Like,
I go through
wow,
my entire feed, and when it's clear, that's when I'm done for the day.
dude, it's the craziest thing ever, man. Props to you.
It's yeah, I feel
It's
What's
like
even what's
that
even
takes a lot
cra-
of dedication. It takes so much dedication to sit there every day and get ready to write it's pizza time on everybody's post.
Oh, for sure. And then what's crazy is that he even does it by hand too. There's no bots. There's nothing involved. It's literally
That's
just
what,
him
yeah,
sitting
that's
for
insane.
like an hour or two doing it. Like we'll be like hanging out or whatever. Like we'd go to shows and some shit, and then he'll just be on his phone for like a minute and just be like, "Hold up, I gotta do something." And he's just sitting there fucking doing it. It's hilarious.
Like, yo, I could just imagine just
I mean,
like, yo, what you doing right now? Oh, I'm just writing some it's pizza time on the post right now. What you doing?
yeah, it's like it's just a thing between me and my friends. They're like, "Oh yeah,
That's sick,
he's
dude.
doing his thing." Yeah, I try to stay like away from bots or stuff like that because it's like at that point it's
It
not.
becomes less natural.
Yeah, it's
It's
not.
inauthentic for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's nothing. There's nothing special about it anymore if you use a bot.
absolutely. It's
Um,
true.
yeah, and it's like for something that is just so basic as it is, it's like it's got to be personal.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
I
definitely
mean,
like,
you're
huh?
scrolling through Instagram anyway, right? So it's just like, might as well post it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, and it's like I usually go through like right now at like the point where I am, that's kind of like the main purpose I use Instagram for because it's like I'll look at stuff, I'll post my own stuff occasionally, but it's like most of the time that's usually why I'm on because it's like I want to keep it like a routine.
Yeah.
So like otherwise it if
I
you
feel
like
that, man.
if you miss a day, like that's so many posts. So like I don't want
Yeah,
to
I don't think
backlog.
you've ever missed a day except for when I told you get away from me for like a week.
Oh
And then I
yeah.
was like, I'm kidding, come back.
Yeah, when people tell me to stop, which has happened before, like from a few people, it's been like, yeah, I'm gonna respect that. So I'm gonna continue following them, but I'm just gonna keep like a mental note of not to tag or not to like tag this person.
Yeah, nah, for anybody who listens to this, whatever, man, let this guy write its pizza time on your post. It's just the whole vibe. It changes everything around sometimes. People like, you could write some sad shit and then like it's pizza time comes on and it's like, you know what? Fuck whatever I just posted. Like I'm all good now. Like
Yeah,
it's definitely a good vibe for sure.
I
It's definitely
personally try to avoid all like the really somber stuff. Like if it's someone
I
passed
try to
away or
avoid
something
that.
like that, I try to avoid tagging stuff like that because like hey, it's really not like the right time, and it's like
Yeah.
I don't want to come across as insensitive because that's like really the last thing I try to do.
No, absolutely. I agree. Um, but it's still a good movement, man. I think that it's definitely good for the scene. I feel like anything that allows the fans to like get involved is dope. It just allows for actually an easier like communicative way of like talking and like talking to fans and stuff like that. Like when
Yeah,
fans try to do things that can inspire in the scene or make a movement, like it's cool.
yeah. I really like I guess what it is I do in the sense that I can now it's it's more like like known through artists and like management rather than like the general community and fan base, which I feel like is kind of interesting because I could like I kind of want to use this like quote unquote new power to like bring people together rather than like just do nothing with it. You know what I mean?
It's time.
That's
Yeah,
kind of what this started as. Like I just wanted to have the ability to like talk to these people and like showcase like this personal side of like everything.
absolutely. That sounds dope.
All right. Okay. I'm going to move on from like enough about me cuz that's like the I mean, this is your episode after all, so uh
Yeah, true. It's mine, but I think that we don't really get to talk much anyway. So it's nice
Of
to
yeah,
like
course.
that's
kind of
fair. That's very
hear
true.
what you got to say and shit. It's
Yeah.
nice to hear.
Totally. Uh, so let's start like at I guess at the beginning of like your career. This is gonna be one of those typical questions, but
Backtrack.
yeah, the backtrack a little, but it's gonna be one of those typical questions of like what was like the thing that like how did you start? How did you get into like doing what it is you do? Because it's like I like hearing the initial like weird some people
Yeah,
have like
it's a
weird
good question.
stories.
That's not a general question because everybody's got a different past. So it's nice to hear what everybody's past is to get to where they are. Um, man, I'm a singer. I started singing when I was like 7 years old.
Oh,
So
nice.
That's
I I was singing and then like that was my passion and like I was really serious about it and then like I wanted to start making like tracks and when I was 13 one of my homies was like, yo, here's FL Studio, like this is like this production program, just learn how to make beats. And I was like, oh, okay. So I installed it and I started messing with it and just getting better. And like I at one point my music was absolute shit, but I was like 14, 15, like nobody cared. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
getting into music was way different back then than it is now. And it almost felt impossible, to become famous back then. It was like almost impossible. Like you needed that spark. Like you actually needed a plug to
Yeah.
get into the scene. You couldn't just naturally do it unless a plug was watching or something. So I knew that, and not that I was saying I wasn't taking it as serious, but I knew that to get to where I wanted to get, it was gonna be a long ass road. So I was just working on beats. I didn't watch any YouTube tutorials, nothing. I was just messing with the program itself, just learning it myself. And I'm a little ignorant when it comes to like musical theory. So I mean, I used to take chorus in school, and like my teachers hated me because I was the best singer in class, but I hated to learn about notes and keys and all that stuff.
Oh
I did not
yeah.
care about it. I just wanted to sing, and that was it. Because I can
Yeah.
sing notes. I didn't need to know what key a song was in. If I heard the beat, my voice will just attack it right away on the key. So I was ignorant and I just never learned that stuff, and I kind of regret it to this day because I never realized how much I needed it now. But
Yeah.
the good thing is that I'm able to make music freely. There's no rules to how I make music. So that's how I kind of brought my career up from the beginning. Like I just taught myself everything. I didn't learn that from anybody else. Obviously I'll ask a question here and there and they'll tell me, give me advice, but me being on this program, bro, I was on FL Studio for like
Yeah.
a
Hundred
good
percent.
like 4 months straight, like every day, just making something different.
Yeah.
So I get into high school because I'm an Italian kid, like I grew up in an Italian neighborhood, not many other races, not many other like cultures or anything like that. It was just straight up like John Gotti like area that I lived in. So I wasn't around like different cultures. So when I got into like junior high school, my high school was in kind of like a not a bad neighborhood, but it was linked between a good and a bad neighborhood, like in between. So that's when I started to get like a lot more like open to like new music styles and like hip hop and like the urban stuff. And just got this like love for R&B because I was a singer already, and I was just learning about like Mario and Marcus Houston and like all those guys. And that's when I started like creating more of the urban style of music, like hip hop and R&B,
Yeah.
like more like R&B pop style stuff. Like I like 15. And my boy Edgar, who was like one of my best friends from high school, uh, he's a DJ straight up, just like an actual like club DJ, like open format. And I used to go to house parties with him when he would DJ. So I would just go and watch him DJ, just watch how he like spins. And I started out at 16 years old doing online radio shows with him on camera. Like whatever you guys are watching now on streams, I was doing this at 15, 16 years old, So like when I see people doing streams now, it's like, yeah, this is dope, but this was like 10 years in the making, like 12 years in the making.
Oh yeah.
So we were doing video streams, and I used to have two Technique 1200s, and a Ring TTM 57 SL, and I used to just learn how to spin and like cut and shit like that, scratch. Uh, I'm not in the same league as JCO and them. Fuck that. He's got his way of doing it, and I just it's just crazy though, like the whole process. And then once I started getting better at DJing, I started doing warehouse parties back when like Dirty Dutch music was kind of popping. So that's like 2010, 2011 ish. That was like prime like Afrojack and like Alvaro. And I was just DJing. I wasn't even making these songs because I hated making electronic music. I was a hip hop producer, and at that time, I was a really good hip hop producer. So I didn't even care about making electronic music at all. While doing all that, I auditioned for American Idol twice. I auditioned for um, X Factor twice, and I auditioned for The Voice once within like that time period. And I was so close to Hollywood. It was like I was like one round close to going to Hollywood. I was so close, and that was tight. But that's when I also realized after not making it that I wasn't cut out to be a singer. So I just continued focusing on producing, and I was working at the airport at one point. I was a supervisor for Turkish Airlines.
So
Uh,
did you drop singing completely, or did you just like?
yeah, I dropped it completely. I was just like, I knew that to get to the industry and to get in there, you needed to have like drop dead. Your voice is like golden voice to make it. Again, different time period. Now if you listen to the talent that's out now, I think it's definitely went down a little bit compared
Right.
to what the talent was back then.
Yeah.
But my voice was really good, and I didn't even feel like I had enough to make it to that next level with my voice. So I said, you know what? Let me take my time and let me put it into something that I feel like is going to one day possibly help me. So I did drop singing completely. I still sing now, but I don't. It's not my seriousness stuff. So
Yeah, like you
I,
don't sing on your tracks and stuff like that.
which I have sang on my records. I'm not a good songwriter, so I can't write my own songs, so therefore I'm not gonna waste my time and write shitty lyrics and then sing beautifully on some shitty lyrics. It's just not my type of thing to do.
Mm.
But um, once I dropped it, I was making the hip hop stuff. I was getting really good. I was working with guys like Joel Ortiz, J Kidd, a lot of the underground kids in New York, and I was getting a reputation as like a consistent like beat maker. Like every beat I made was like untouchable. I would usually get compared to guys like Jallo Beats and Cardiac. Like those were like some big New York like style, like East Coast style producers. A-Rap Music, that's the homie. Um, so I was doing that, and then I started working at the airport. I was a supervisor. I thought my life was in line. I was like, yeah, I have a big boy job. I'm 21 years old, supervising. Like shit's crazy. And one of my boys, Kevin, we were on the train to work, and he was like, "Yo, check this shit out." And it was Original Don, Floshadamus remix. And I heard it, and I said, this is like a movement. This is different. And why do I like it so much? Because I can make that easy. So I just started making like EDM records. I switched over. I said, all right, I'm gonna take a break from hip hop. I'm gonna try this trap stuff, and the rest is history from there.
Yeah, and I mean, you're doing like a lot of cool stuff now. Like
Oh
you've
yeah.
worked with like some of the biggest people, I guess, in your field.
Yeah, I mean, so like I'm now starting to work with some of the biggest people on the field, but before that, I was just relatively known for just having bangers like every year. I would have like at least 4 or 5 hot records every year that people will play out. So people just knew me around the scene as just this consistent. Like I've always that's one thing about my career that I'm so happy about is that I've been consistent my entire career. And even before EDM, like in hip hop, I was just a consistent like hit maker. I loved making good music, and if it wasn't good enough, it would not see the light of day. So
Yeah.
anything that sees the light of day means to me it's a great record. threw it in the air, and I walked off like a champ, dude. It was wild.
Okay. I
And
did not hear any of that. My internet cut out for the last minute.
for real?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real. It just shut off, and I'm using my mobile hotspot right now to connect to the internet. So
Oh
Jesus.
shit! So wait, so did that all get recorded or no?
That last minute did not.
I think I can have. I think I have it.
All right, if you have it, then
I mean, if you have it, if not, then I could just say it again.
yeah,
That's fine.
Yeah, I have it.
just say it again, just in case. I like.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So are you recording now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So like, pretty much, I was working at the airport and I was supervising. I had a good job, but I wasn't happy with my life. And um, one day I just said, "Yo, like fuck this." I took my ID, threw it in the air, and I walked off the job, quit, just like that, like a boss, man. It felt good, but at the time I had a car that I was paying off and shit. And like my mom's was like, "Yo, how could you walk away from your job like that? Like, who's gonna pay for this car?" And I'm like, "Listen, send it back. I don't care. Like, whatever. Like, I can't hold back what I want to do because things are holding me back from it." So, my mom ended up taking the car and just returning it and like paying like a little difference or whatever. And then she was like, "Get out of my house." Like, like any parents, they just want to kick you out just because you get pissed. So when I left, I went to Philly. I went to another fucking state and I spent a good week living in a trap house just to pursue music for like a week. It lasted. I could not do it. Like my eyes were constantly open. Like I couldn't sleep because I just felt like somebody was just gonna come in and just end my life. So I knew. I said, "All right, you know what? Let me go back home. Let me work things out with my mom and let me figure this out." So I went back home, and her like ultimatum was like, "You can't make music anymore." And I was like, "Fine, but you think I'm not gonna make music? Come on, it doesn't work that way. I'll always
Yeah.
outsmart." And yeah, dude, and so like, there's definitely been some points in my life where I tried to make some moves, and not that I got scared out of it, but I just didn't feel comfortable. The biggest thing about my life is I'm not about the glamour. I just want to be comfortable. So as long as I'm comfortable, that's all I want for my life is be comfortable and just make music. So I'm just striving for that as we speak.
Yeah.
Obviously, the pandemic stuff has kind of shifted things, and like making money has become even the hardest thing in the world right now. So it's like, even through this, I feel like this has been like the most success I've had in a very long time. So
I
it
mean, yeah,
works.
like you've definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's like you're definitely getting to the close to the point where like you don't really have to worry about too much, which is
No,
yeah, which is I mean really cool. Like I mean, I think I
Oh,
started listening to your stuff.
did we
Like,
lose him?
huh?
did we lose him?
I'm here.
I think we did.
Oh shit.
What?
Oh,
Your mic cut out.
Oh,
you
am
know,
I?
yeah, you do that thing. That your mic did that thing where it goes, and then like you got. But I will say though, the one thing in my career, I don't know if this was like a question you had already like set up, but like there was one thing in my career that kind of allowed my career to like blossom, and that was when DJ Snake followed me on Twitter and was playing my "How Deep Is Your Love" remix from like 2015.
Oh
That
damn.
started that started everything for me. Was him playing that remix out because then everybody was like, "What's hard trap? What is that? That shit is
Yeah.
tight." And yeah, so it's kind of crazy.
That's super inspiring too, because he's such a big artist too, and just getting the recognition from that is like must be empowering for sure.
Yeah, because what I felt like was if he likes my stuff, I know, I got good shit.
For
And
sure.
once he liked it, I felt like I was gonna get a lot more support from a lot of other artists too.
Yeah.
So, um, it was definitely an eye opener for me because I never thought, like I said, at one point in my life, it was impossible to make it that far or talk to people that big, and for it to not be that easy, it was like holy shit, like DJ Snake's DMing me right now, like all right, tight, let's get it, like It was dope.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely like, I really like how larger artists have like that ability to impact like a smaller artist's like future career with just like one little action. It's like they don't even
Right?
they like sometimes
Like
Yeah,
the
I
they
think
might not
butterfly
even
effect.
yeah they
like
might not
that
even
also inspired me to be the same way. And like it's crazy is that a lot of people are like at the time when I was coming up, I was doing like little promo sessions on Facebook, and those were getting like 300 views, 400 views, and if I played out some artist song on my live stream, they would lose their mind. And I was like, yo, I'm not even that big, but they're just like so excited about me playing their track. So it was just so dope to kind of learn from him in that aspect of like you're never too big to like look
yeah
for talent. You know, like you got to
I'm
understand that like you can find talent anywhere. So I was uh I was stoked, man. Like he definitely changed like my aspect of like how I look at the career of mine. Like I've helped a lot of artists along my career, and I continue to do that.
I mean that's definitely like a good thing to do because like I mean
Mm-hmm.
I would freak out if anybody played like something I
Oh,
made.
we lost, we
Am
lost
I
him again.
Robot.
bro? What the hell? Okay, I'm gonna
Said
try to fix. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
I'm gonna try to
yes.
go fix my internet. I don't know what the hell's happening.
All right.
Fuck. All right, I'm gonna
Yeah,
keep it
that's
recording
fucking
now. So
sick as fuck though.
it's still
Yeah.
recording, by the way.
Okay.
Okay.
That story's insane. Seriously, just like knowing that you wanted to do music from such a young age. Because I personally, when I was younger, I also was in choir and doing stuff like that. But again, I fucking hated like doing keys and all learning the actual music theory. But
I just, I just felt like there was no need for it.
yeah,
You
I
know,
felt like it was outdated for sure.
I felt like if I was gonna make music, I was gonna make music how I like to make music. So if you try to teach me, like it's like going to school. It was literally in school. It was like learning a class, and I didn't want to learn it. I don't like school like that. Like I love math, but
Hmm.
that's it. Like everything else for me was just like blah 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 blah. Like I did not
Right, right.
care about it,
I feel.
and like for music, I just wanted to get there and perform, man. That's all I wanted to do was perform. I just wanted to sing. I said, bro, I used to get solos like every time. Like they would give me a solo song like for every concert that we have. So I was already preparing myself for like this.
That's super sick.
Uh,
Yeah, in terms of like school and shit like that, I fucking hate it to be honest because I hate being told what to do, right? I like just like learning myself, like and doing stuff like online.
yeah. You see, like my little brother is the complete opposite of me. Like, we're 10 years apart and love school. And he's smart too. So he's got like really high grades and he's like on the dean's list and shit. I was like, yeah, I was never on that.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, ma, I see you got a blessing, You got another kid that's smarter than me. That's straight.
All right, can you
Right.
guys hear me now?
You get
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. We didn't. I don't. We don't know what's going on with our internet. I mean, Spectrum has been like super.
Spectrum, so
Spectrum has been super like weird with
That's
everything.
Xfinity, right?
I
uh not actually sure.
Oh no. Spectrum is separate. No. I have Xfinity.
I see.
yeah.
Yeah, it
Spectrum
is
has
separate.
been like dying like every once in a while because I guess it's
Damn,
like
you
so
guys
many
there?
people with.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
coming in and out random.
Both of y'all are like coming in and out.
Really?
Oh
Yeah.
jeez.
Fuck Spectrum.
That's cool.
Because
All
we're
right.
in LA, so like all we have out here is like Verizon Fios and let's see, DirecTV, Spectrum. That's it.
Files is sick.
Fios is sick, but my area doesn't offer it.
That sucks, man.
It's like in
See,
certain
I hate
areas.
I hate that, man. I hate when areas determine what you can get. It's the worst.
It's so trash, and that it's like they'll give it to you if you're in a big building, but if you're in a smaller like apartment, fuck you. We're not setting up the line.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. Like what I was saying was when you were talking about. Oh, is it doing it again?
Yes.
Oh my god, this is absolute. What is happening right now?
Scuffed.
Jesus, I'm like, Okay, I'm using my mobile hotspot right now because my internet is like not even. Hold on.
That's so scuffed.
Hold on. I'm try this. I might disconnect.
Violet, so where are you at right now?
I'm in Houston.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I'm in
Damn,
Houston.
how's the scene out there?
It's
Alright.
nice, man. Texas has a good scene. I think Texas has one of the like top like 3
Are we good now?
scenes in the states. Yeah, I hear
Yeah.
you.
Yay! Okay, I think I got my internet to come back on.
Cool, cool.
Hell yeah! All right, now we're.
So yeah, nah. So like Houston is as far as like crowds are concerned, like when it comes to shows, I think that Dallas crowd is like more ravier. I think like it's
Mhm.
like every show they go to is like their first show ever, so
Oh,
they're
shit.
always like loudest. Yeah, it's crazy. It was definitely the loudest crowd I've ever heard ever was in Dallas for sure, and
Mhm.
Houston's tight. Uh, Plus it's my hometown, so it's nice to play shows here. Um, so yeah, no, the Texas scene is nuts.
I mean, I can imagine. It's like there's just some places that are like I guess notorious for having like crazy scenes,
Hmm.
and
And
like
Texas is definitely one of them for
yeah,
sure.
it's like Texas and like L.A. I'd say like
Florida probably too. Mostly
Nah,
like the bigger cities, right?
man, I'd probably say Denver, L.A.,
Denver for sure.
Dallas, Houston. Um, are
yeah. I
like
mean like
for
Denver's got
me,
like Red Rocks and shit.
Tampa's another one that's tight. Chicago. Um, those are some really dope cities. Minnesota or Minneapolis.
Hmm.
Um, San Francisco, Sacramento. Sacramento actually is a really dope place because I remember when I played there for the first time. It was like a festival. It was like the first festival they ever had there, like EDM. And I remember playing it. The fan base that I grew from me there was nuts just off my performance. It was nice, man. They're super dope.
That's sick. What's your favorite place to perform though?
Boots
Like if
House,
you have one.
Boots House for sure in
Like
Germany.
yeah, in the Florida
Germany.
one.
Yeah,
Well,
it's like one of the most iconic like nightclubs in the world is Boots House. It's a whole vibe there. It was That crowd was nuts. I'll never forget that crowd ever in my life. I still get goosebumps thinking about it actually. Like when I first walked onto the stage and like they were just prepared, man, prepared. I was just walking around and like they were just like flocking, like holy shit, Bailo, and I'm like, damn, like sometimes it doesn't seem real to me, and then it just hits you like, damn, yeah, I guess I make dope shit.
right? For sure. You definitely do.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I mean like one of the things that we were talking about before was like how people like how you don't have to be that big in order to like have I guess this impact on people.
Yep,
Like we were talking
I
about
believe
the playing out smaller artist track, and
that.
it's like
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean it's like I feel like it's in that case it would be like if anybody plays out your track when you're an artist, like if somebody is like likes your stuff enough to actually just go ahead and play it, then I feel like that's like already a step in the right direction.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. I've always believed in that, and I'm glad I can change people's lives every day when I can.
That's
Yeah,
fucking sick.
that's definitely like something. It's definitely like something that's really cool that you have like the power to do now. Like
I just think that everybody deserves a chance to taste some sort of like spotlight. I feel like
yeah,
everybody deserves at least a taste of it so they can see what potential it has.
yeah, and see
So
like
it's
if
like when you hear your song get played out, it's like for a second you take that and you're like, wow, that was actually a big deal. Like you take that and then you run with it. You either learn from it or you let it get to your head or you just keep working hard and it pays off.
yeah,
You'd
and
be
then
surprised how some people actually take that. So
yeah, I mean like there's also this the like small amount of people that realize like that's not something that they want, and it's like I feel they should at least be able to experience it to know that. Because I know
for
like,
sure.
because there's like some people that would be like, yeah, I want to work in music and whatever, and then they like get to like a live show, and then they're like, I hated that. Like I don't like. They're like terrified or whatever. They like have super, like like so much anxiety from like stage fright or something,
Mhm.
and it's just like it
Yeah, I
just
mean,
does not agree.
I'm a great performer. I mean, I've been performing my whole life, so I know what it comes with to perform. I think that the only thing I hate is that I hate partying because I'm such a chill body.
So
So,
Mm.
it's hard sometimes to appreciate that because I don't really party like that. So,
Yeah.
you know, I'll go to a show, and the minute I'm finished, I'm going straight back to my hotel. Cause I'm like, yeah, I'm chilling, man. I'm not doing no after parties or nothing like that. Yeah, I'm just
Oh
trying to go
yeah.
home. So, yeah, it all depends. There's certain things that come with it, and like, you know,
Yeah.
the thing that I care about the most is respect. If you can respect how others want to be, then it's always gonna be good. So it's like people that like friends of mine or like promoters or anytime I go to somebody's city, the minute they see the vibe from me is like, oh, he's chill. I expect everybody to respect that I'm chill, so they won't kind of like push me to be something I don't want to be. And I'm
Yeah.
blessed to say that I don't think I've ever been in a position before where people have actually disrespected me in the sense of what I want to do.
Yeah.
So it's cool to just be yourself and like it's not just fall in line with what is considered standard. So I'm
Oh,
not a
a hundred
partier.
percent.
So like I think partying is a standard in the scene, but I'm not a standard in that. So I'm like a boring guy. So it's sometimes I just have to work harder. So I have to work harder so that people don't look at my boredom and be like, I don't know if I can fuck with him because he doesn't party. So I have to work extra hard for people to fuck with me because I don't party.
Yeah, I mean,
right.
I feel like that's a little unfortunate that like people are so quick to like decide just based on like certain things,
Hmm.
and it's like, because it's like really, uh, just this one factor of a person doesn't really, determine how they are as like an entire person, which is like one thing that I strongly like believe in. It's like, hey, it's like I don't. It's like maybe I don't vibe with how this one person does
Hmm.
this one thing, but like the rest of what they do could be like exactly like the way I do it.
Yeah,
So
and
like,
also like don't forget how I live, also, or like who I hang out with, how we hang out. Like I'm used to a certain way of living, so it's
yeah,
like I
it's
don't
like,
want to fall in line and just be something I'm not, and like
oh
you know.
yeah, it's
But the
like,
good thing is like I might be boring, but I'm still fun to be around, which is cool. I'm not this Debbie Downer, which is awesome.
No,
Like
it's definitely different vibes for sure.
mhm.
mm,
Because I myself, I'm more down to earth too. Like I do like enjoy going to shows and stuff, but I'm not the type of person to be out there going crazy all the time.
yeah,
There's like I need space, I need chill.
Mhm.
I can't be there for the whole
like,
time. I'll go to the back and
mm,
just kind of sit there.
yeah. If like Victor and
Absolutely.
I go out like to a show or something, if we were to do that, I'd usually be the one like going crazy at the show because like that's just my element. But him, he's just like he's the one who's usually like keeps level headed throughout the whole thing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like for me, shows are like the one place I can go crazy because it's like normally I'm just like super mellow, but and then Victor will be like, I'll be like, Victor, like fucking headbang with me or something, and he'd be like, Nah, man.
I mean, I'll do it just because we're there and like we're hanging out and like I don't want to put him down. I want to make sure he is having a good time. Just everybody's having a good time. But I definitely need my space. I need to chill. So
Yeah,
I
which
wouldn't
is
say it's boring. I think it's more like there's different ways to express yourself, right?
there's different ways to have fun.
Exactly.
Oh,
Cause
for
like,
sure.
yeah, I mean, there's always like the kid. Like, I mean, that's kind of like the same way with like introverts and extroverts. That like some people just like feel better in like different settings. It's just
Absolutely.
how that is. Uh, all right. I want to ask you, like, how did you come about like working with like a lot of the people that you have worked with? So, for those of the people listening that don't know, you worked with people like, for instance, like I know you did a remix for like Lucas, and then
Mhm.
you did stuff for like with like they did remixes for like Riot 10 and shit. Like, so how
Yep.
did like all of that like how'd you come around to getting to meet like these people or like working with other people like that?
Um. Well, for the remix for Lucas, he reached out to me and asked me to do a remix for that EP and like pick a song on the EP and just remix it. So that one kind of just surprised me because I didn't expect to see like him like hit me up for it. Riot Ten is like one of my best friends. So I met him because we both were kind of coming up around the same time period, like with the style of music that we were doing. We were both like kind of doing that hard trap shit. So we kind of just like felt like our music kind of just intertwined, and then like we started like talking and becoming friends. And anytime he does a record or something, I'll always hit him up like, "You want me to remix something?" And he'll just be like, either yes or no. And he's never said no.
I mean, like I could tell like from what I've heard like from your remixes of his stuff, it's like you can tell that you like there's I mean I guess your genres, your styles, they kind of mash together really nicely.
They did, yeah, they did. And then he became the king of dubstep, and I'm here trapping it up. So he's good. He's a really talented guy, man. And he made a song that changed the game. He changed the entire scene with one song. So it's inspiring for
You mean
sure because
Railbreaker?
hmm
Oh yeah.
absolutely, Railbreaker is a song that kind of made the headbang movement a thing. Really, I think I think it started that whole headbang stuff. And
Yeah.
um,
Or I think it
it's
like if it didn't start it, it definitely like
it
made it
definitely
what it
inspired it
is.
more. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, for
definitely.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because break your fucking neck, bitch. Like that.
Like
Yeah,
That that's a headbanger like anthem right off the
yeah,
for
bat.
sure.
there
Big ups to Rico Act for that too. That was
yeah,
really
Rico
genius on
Act
that
is
vocal.
definitely like a great vocalist for
Yeah,
that kind of
for sure.
stuff.
Yeah, he's done a couple records with me. I was like one of his like very first like EDM records, so it was cool to have worked with him so early in his career and then see what like songs he's done now. It's tight, man. I'm telling you, I've worked with some really legendary people, and
Oh
like
yeah.
they weren't legendary when I first worked with them. It was all just startup. It was all like,
That
I
must
think you
be
got
like
talent.
that must be like such a cool like thing that you can kind of say like it's such like I guess a quote unquote hipster thing like oh I was working with this person before they were cool but it's like to see them being able to like to see people you work with be able like to progress alongside you must be
See,
like a
but
really
I
cool
think it's
thing.
different in my case because I feel like not only is it that I worked with them, but I helped them at one point in their career. Because at one point I was coming up really fast, so I was bringing up a lot of dope artists, or like my live streams were like discovering new talent, and like every live stream, like I would have artists tell me like, "Yo, thank you for playing my song. I've gotten so many requests, and so many people want my record." And I'm just like, "Yeah, no problem." Like I've helped a lot of people, and some of the biggest artists in the game now are people that I've worked with in the past. Like the biggest example, and I will always flex this because Jesse's like my one of my really good friends. But me and Subtronics, like we did that Thief remix like 3 years ago, and to see where he's at now,
Oh yeah,
it's fucking
Ridiculous.
nuts.
Ridiculous.
I remember
And I,
listening to like Subtronics and stuff when I remember listening to his stuff like a few years ago when he was just doing like stuff on like Black Label and like Disciple like
but I'm
Roundtable.
talking before that. He wasn't even releasing on that yet when I worked with him. This was before Black Label
Oh
Subtronics. Like this was
jeez.
the
Uh,
Thief remix was like the first, like people knew of Subtronics, but he wasn't at that like plateau yet where like he was like more like
he
out of
wasn't.
country.
Yeah.
Like people in like Europe knew who he was big time, in Canada, but in the States he was kind of still growing. It was
He
still
wasn't
molding.
Griztronics yet.
No, he wasn't Grishtronics yet, but he was definitely on that path. And I
Yeah.
knew it, and I knew it because back then my old manager is works on the team that he's with now. So we linked up because we had a dope team at the time. Because I was part of Grave Dancer at one point, and I had Subtronics, and damn, who else was Bite Me was in there too for a little bit. And I was working with these guys within Grave Dancer, and like when we first worked together, it was kind of instant. I brought the trap stuff into the song, and then Jesse did the dubstep stuff, and it was like the first like clear hybrid record, I think, that kind of sparked because you could hear the trap influence and then the dubstep influence for like the first time so nicely. And it's still one of my top five favorite collabs because how we worked on it. It was so nice, man. It was so natural. It wasn't even supposed to be a remix. It was actually an original. And then at the time, OK was doing a Thief remix contest. So I told Jesse, let's do it. So me and Jesse did that contest. We didn't even win it, but our remix was the most liked remix, and we still didn't understand how we didn't win,
Yeah, I was gonna
but
say, how does that work?
it
What?
didn't make sense. It really didn't make sense to us at all. But we knew clearly we had the best remix of Thief. We knew it with
Mm.
no matter what anybody made. I don't care who you are. That Thief remix that me and Jesse did was untouchable at that time period for sure. And like I said, to see where he's at now, it's almost inspiring because you know I still talk to him every day. I'll text him every day. We'll FaceTime to say what's up, and he never changed. So it's nice to see that. Like my vision of like how to portray my career isn't that rare. Like there are people that are genuine and will always stay genuine. So big ups to Jesse for the hell of a career right now, and I'm proud. I'm definitely proud of that for sure. That remix is. I always tell people, I'm like, you never know who you're gonna work with. You never know. You could work with somebody who's not popping when you do work with them, but then out of nowhere, shit happens. It's crazy.
Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, like, just all. I mean, yeah, exactly. You could just be working with somebody that you think is just like a homie, or you think it's like somebody could just be hitting you up, like, "Hey, I want to make something," and you just like give them a chance, and like, then seeing where they end up, like a few years later, could be like super, like, just crazy.
That, and I like the way that you said that he hasn't switched up too. I love that you guys are still friends. And
Oh yeah, like hearing that some people like are able to like not get super affected by like the increase in like fame and stuff is.
No, I think it also comes with the understanding of what his responsibilities are now as well.
Mm,
So if you can understand his position and not let it affect your friendship, is where it works out fine because I'm in the same boat as him. I know what he's doing, so I know that he's going to be way busier now than he's ever been. So as long as you have that mentality that no, he's not answering me because he doesn't want to, it's because he's busy, and you
yeah,
give him the time, and then he'll answer. And that's how it's always been for me and Jesse. Like we'll have our FaceTime calls when he's just chilling, and then when I know he's working or he's got shit going on, I just let him rock until I feel like it's time to say what's up, check up on him, But that's just how we've always been. Anytime he comes to Houston, it's always love. We always spend the time that we can together, and um, it's always nice to see him every time.
and that's a real touching moment. uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's like it's really cool to hear that like you actually stay, you try to stay super tight with like the people you work with, because it's like,
Always.
of
I mean,
course, yeah.
yeah,
I
I
don't.
mean,
I look at business and I'm like, the business is gonna get done. But
yeah,
I don't interact with these people for business. Like
yeah,
everything that, like, I met Jesse, we worked together, and then we kind of just hit it off, and like we don't even talk music that much. It's just more like, hey, how you doing, bro? How's everything? How's the fam? Yeah, how's wifey doing? How's the dog? It's like just shit like that. And like we'll just talk
yeah,
and shit. Like he knows my girlfriend. Like we're all pretty close. So
yeah.
it's
It's
like even like I like to tell people my story about like being friends with snails because being friends with Fred was different for me because when I met Fred, he was playing a show in New York, and this was when I was living in New York at the time. And I went to the show just to go, and I introduced myself, but I didn't say that I was a musician. I just said my name, and we were just chilling, talking, bullshitting, and then I went and got a pizza, and then he didn't know that I was an artist until like 2 months after we were friends. So I don't when people look at networking, it almost
Yeah.
feels like an obligation, but like I don't look at it as an obligation. I'm not My networking is way different than everybody else's networking because I'm just trying to be friends with people.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
not I'm not out here trying to shove my song down somebody's throat like how some people try to network
Oh,
at shows and
100%.
shit.
Oh yeah.
It's like
But
when you make a genuine friend out of someone rather than like try to show off. It's like it pays off a lot more in this like sense because it's, I mean, now it's like they know you for like the person you are rather than like the music you make, which is kind of what you want.
dude, yeah, me too is like literally like my brother. Like I'm Uncle Bailo to his kids. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what my relationship is like with my friends and like my artist friends. There's no such thing as like I only hit you up for business and then that's it. Not unless you give me a fucked up vibe. But other than that,
No.
um, I'm usually
Yeah.
natural with everybody I talk to and like work with.
I'm hoping I'm not on that vibe yet. So.
Nah, you're good.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
internet's trash, but it's all right.
oh, dude,
Yeah, you got
blame
fuckers up.
Spectrum and quarantine, man. Like, dude, they have not
Hell
been
yeah.
mixing well together. Like, my internet will shut off at like every like fourth day at at exactly midnight. My internet will completely cut
Sometimes that
out.
happens, but they're just doing like they're doing
Yeah,
hardwire shit or something.
I
yeah,
feel
it's
like they
tough.
do it on purpose, honestly, just to get people off. Like, uh, they'll have shit running and then they'll shut off their internet, so like they won't
You
like
really think that?
for sure, bro. Because like they have imagine the amount of people that are watching Netflix and just like fall asleep and have that shit running. Right?
Yeah, man.
They need that space for sure. But fuck Spectrum anyway.
This is conspiracy hours. Oh,
That's fun.
well, yeah. I mean, so what do you have? I guess plans like if you do have plans, like what do you want to? Where do you see yourself like in like the future? Like where do you want like to take Bilo like as a project?
I don't want to take it anywhere. I kind of wanted to just keep doing trap shit and like just. I'm just gonna keep making dope music, and I don't see Bilo doing anything more than that. Is just making dope music. So, um, I think that when my career is winding down, and I feel like my love for performing goes down, maybe I will venture into managing or um, something within that field. And because I'm such a good people person that I feel like I would probably be a really good manager or an agent or something because I can deal with people. And either that or I'm gonna open up my own food truck, man. One or the other. So
Fuck
yeah,
yeah.
That was not.
uh, opening up a food truck and just traveling the world with my food truck, just driving different
What
cities and states.
what kind of food you'd be making?
Um, you know, probably Italian Southern.
Italian Southern, like
Yeah,
like
like
stuff from
like
south of
taste it.
Italy, or like
No,
blending the
like
south
like
and.
blending the South and Italy. Yeah.
Oh man, like wait, what would that be like? Like,
All right,
oh,
so I'll give you one idea of a dish, and you'll tell me how you feel about it. Okay,
all right.
hot chicken parmesan,
Okay, you know what? That actually sounds pretty damn cool.
Now I'm hungry, bro. That sounds really good.
like Nashville hot chicken with fresh mozzarella and tomato sauce,
Ooh,
That sounds,
melted on
yeah.
top in the oven, baked.
I'll be
So
first in
fucking
line for that food truck for sure.
big facts.
I'm definitely down to try something like that. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, I just I've been living now in Texas for about 3 years, and I love. I've been getting in love with spicy stuff, and I still love my Italian food. Because that's my passion. And when you just make good food, like I'm like I love the sauce I make. I make a good chicken caprese. I think that chicken is like my favorite meat to cook for Italian stuff. Um, but I
I mean,
just think that the South has some really dope recipes and ingredients that it blends well with Italian
oh
cooking.
yeah.
But the thing is that because Italians don't like spicy food, they like a little spice, but not too much.
Mm,
But the South, there's no limit.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
I want there to be no limit on spicy Italian food, pretty much.
yeah. I like it also like Southern food is. I'd say Southern food is a very underrated kind of food. Like people just assume that it's very like standard, but it's like there's if, like Southern food can actually be like really fucking good if you like
Well, and there's all types of Southern food, even like the Spanish stuff, like just you can't get like I mean I know you can get good tacos in LA and stuff, but
yeah
Texas is just
It's different.
yeah
it's different, man. It's
The
again can't
barbecues and
compare.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, the barbecue stuff is next level. I want to be able to incorporate barbecue in my
yeah
like another thing. So, Italians we like sausages, right? And you'll get like the sausage link with like cheese and parsley stuffed inside. Like just imagine that, but like brushed off with like Texas barbecue sauce. Like
what
like just glazed off the sausage and then
that
put it in a
sounds.
sandwich and then put it in a sandwich with peppers and onions.
Dude, I haven't eaten breakfast today and I'm so fucking hungry.
I'm just saying, I definitely have a passion for cooking as well. So I just don't talk much about it because I'm just still learning and trying to get better and better until it's time. But I've been posting up pictures of like things I've been making lately, and they've been looking real good. So
Yeah, I mean
if the
like
music thing to me, if I like don't have the love for music anymore in general, then I'll go to food truck business.
all right.
Mm-hmm.
You heard it here first, folks. Like just
Yeah.
if Bailo stops making music, then look out for his food truck.
Hmm.
I foresee great things in that for sure.
Thank you.
No,
But let's
definitely. I can
but
definitely
let's
see you as a manager.
let's not think about that though because
Yeah,
I
of
kind of want to keep
course, of
making
course,
music.
of course. And if anything, managing would be fucking fantastic for you too, because I can
Yeah,
definitely tell that you know what you're doing. You know, like how to like spot people for sure. So
I call my ears a blessing sometimes because I feel like I know what good music sounds like. I think that I can tell when a hit is a hit. I can spot good talent, and I don't know. I just have those traits that I feel like would make a successful manager. But
Yeah.
I've
That was
also I've also had multiple managers in my career, so I've learned from everybody how they
right,
operate,
yeah.
how what things what to do, things what not to do. Like it's
Yeah.
just all a learning experience, and I think that a lot of artists now, like there, if some people don't even know, but most of these managers were once artists, so it's not just guys that were just like or girls that were just like, yeah, no, we don't want to make music anymore. We're just gonna start managing. Like, no, like, yo, some of these people were legit like on stages performing, and now they're managing because things didn't work out for their career, or they just didn't want to go through it anymore. But
Yeah.
they take what they learn as an artist and turn it around as a manager. So it's such an advantage, which is why I think that's something I would definitely see myself doing for sure.
right.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I really like one of the things like that you've that I've so far like really admired about you throughout like this interview is like your confidence. It's just how like
Mm-hmm.
it's so like
How do you think you survive in this? You can't survive in this industry without confidence.
I mean, yeah.
You have to be able to sit there and tell. Like, if you guys haven't noticed on social media, I've kind of been like on this wave of like, y'all are about to get fucking killed by me. I'm about to come in and destroy shit.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
if you don't have that mentality, then you might as well just go sit on the sides and just watch us do it because you have to have confidence in this scene to make it. It's
Yeah.
not being cocky, it's being confident. And I think the difference is that I could back up what I preach. And when you're sitting on some of the hottest records in the game, and like some people are like telling me, they're like, dude, is No Cap like your most successful song ever? I'm like, yo, it's not even out yet.
Right.
It's not even out yet. You're already asking me if it's my most successful song. Like, what does that tell you? Like, I don't have to say
What's in the
anything else.
vault, bro?
Yeah, I mean
Ah,
like
Right.
the vault
yeah,
is crazy.
it's
The
like the
vault is
confidence
nuts.
also kind of inspires people like hey if this is getting this hyped up like oh man I really gotta like watch out for this
Hmm.
because it's like if you just go like and say yo do a release out this week but you don't like say anything on top of that it's just like all right people will probably like forget but if you like continuously hype it up like the
See, but
entire
that's why
time
like I wanted to
consistently.
like develop Bailo to mean that, so that I don't have to hype it up like that. All I have to do
Yeah,
is
yeah.
write new music, and everybody knows. Oh, we're not fucking around. We know
Right.
something's coming.
Yeah, everybody
That's what
knows
I.
what it is.
That's that. Like that's what I was able to accomplish with my career is that I've always made bangers. So like no matter what I put out, I don't have to hype it. I just have to say new music is gonna be crazy. That's it. That's all I have to say, and people just know what's coming.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I mean, that's actually really rad. That's a really cool
Hmm.
idea because it's like once you get there, I feel like you've made it. Once like people start freaking out without you telling them to freak out, that's like
Yeah,
that's the point. I mean, like
absolutely.
there's certain artists that have that already, but it's like I mean, if you ever heard
But
like
also, let me not sugarcoat this shit either. You're gonna get a bunch of fucking haters too, and they're gonna be there
oh
always
yeah,
to haunt you
hundred
at
percent.
all times of the. Yo, I'll never forget it, man. I was watching that Cinco mode set since it was like wasn't live, but I DJ'd live, but it was recorded previous day. But I was watching that and like just looking at the chat and like you would have like 100 like fire comments and then just that one comment that like
Oh yeah,
somebody just has to just say just because they just want to add some sort of hate into the chat.
Right.
And but yeah, so just don't you gotta also expect to get haters as well because some people
oh yeah,
like
definitely.
can't accept it. Some people can't accept getting hate because they think it's just all gonna be positive and goody goody. But if you can prepare your mind that hey, I know everybody's gonna fuck with this, but there's gonna be like one or two people that are gonna be like fuck this record. So you have to have that mentality in your head so that it doesn't affect you because it affects a lot of
Yeah.
people.
I mean, like, even with, like, the whole pizza time thing, it's like, not everybody's into it. And there are, like, those people that are, like, either not into it or I'll get, like, a comment from an account that I don't even tag, like, just some random person being like, this is
Hmm.
fucking stupid. Please stop. But I'm just like, hey, you gotta realize that, like, there are more people that probably enjoy what it is you're doing rather than like you
Yep,
don't focus on like it's especially like if you enjoy what it is you're doing, do not focus on like the people that are telling you that it's stupid
absolutely.
because like in the end it really only matters if you can make yourself happy because it's
Right.
like
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I'm the happiest I can be right now.
that's actually really good to hear, man. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, I
bro.
mean, it's just gotta just go into everything with a like realistic mindset. It's like
definitely.
know that hey, I don't think shows are coming back this year.
Mm,
So I have to prepare myself knowing that. And how am I gonna attack the scene? How am I gonna make an impact on the scene missing shows?
yeah,
Right.
Music. Music. Everybody's focusing on streams. I'm focusing on music. I want to make
Hmm.
the best music in the world. And I'm not gonna say it because I know there's some people that counter arguing like you don't have to necessarily make music right now. Some people might not have the mindset to make music right now. And I get that. But I'm just grateful that I can.
yeah,
And grateful and actually that's an understatement. I'm more or less proud because the records that I've made during this quarantine is the best music I've ever written in my entire life. So
yeah. I
this
mean,
is like the next wave of music from me is going to change the entire fucking game.
Excited to hear it for sure.
dude, definitely. I'm really
Trap trap music's going to be on the forefront again. It's going to be back in the on the main side of things again.
Seriously, it's definitely one of my favorite genres, and I haven't heard too much coming out of it. But when I heard that shit that you did, the remix, the 30 minutes with Boombox, fucking crazy. I
Oh,
loved
the
it.
mix, yeah, yeah. I kind of wanted to give people a heads up with what's going on, like with where I'm going with my shit, and like I premiered two big records on that Cinco mode set. I premiered No Cap, like me performing it, and this ID I have, which I don't know is a collab or not, but it's supposed to be a collab. So I just keep it as an ID, but it's with somebody huge for sure.
all right. I mean,
It was that Waka Flocka edit. I don't know if anybody remembers that edit from that set, but there was one song specifically that had Waka Flocka lyrics, and the drop and the break were all part of that ID. So
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
All right, that definitely gives us a lot to get hyped for. And I think we're getting like to the very end of our time here for this episode.
Oh
So,
shit.
is there like any last words you want to give?
Um. Yeah. Just keep fucking with my music, and if you like hip hop and you like trap, look no further because I'm giving you the best of both worlds. You guys wanted 2012 music back. It's back. It's back and stronger than it was before. So
All
get ready
right.
for this next wave of trap music because it's gonna be the best music in a while.
Wise words.
Fuck yeah.
All right. Now is the part where you get to plug yourself. Pretty much everything you want. Go for it. Go nuts.
Uh, okay. My Cash App is Bailo Music. My Venmo is BAILOBEATZ. And you can go to my SoundCloud /Bailo Beats with a Z, and then hit that little COVID button if you want to donate to my PayPal. It's all there. Uh, yeah, that's a good plug in. Is just send me cash.
Nobody has plugged
Fuck yeah.
that yet. So like I didn't expect that, but like hey, I'm
Because
gonna
they're
put
not
it.
Amazing.
smart. They're just
I
not
mean,
smarter than me. That's all.
I'll put it in the description. It's gonna be there.
I'll let people discover my social media when they end up discovering it one day. But I need cash now, so I'd rather get cash now, and then they'll eventually support me anyway and follow me because then I'll just send them my socials that
Fuck
way.
yeah, bro.
If you want my socials, 25 cents, send it.
All right.
Nah, I'm just kidding, y'all. Instagram is at Bailo Music. My Twitter is Bailo Beats with a Z. So those are the two social medias that I'm on heavy.
All right. Everything's gonna be down there in the description,
Sick.
as well as all the socials for us. If you want to check out the rest of our episodes, please go ahead. And yeah, just stay tuned for our next episode. Later, everybody.